and welcome back to Up the Villa. This is Transfer Hub, your home of Aston Villa's transfer news, links, rumours, noise, incomings, outgoings, murmurings, Monchi radio interviews. We've got Ben Jacobs exclusive interviews. So welcome to the show. It's pretty stacked out. We've got a lot to go through. We've got Youri Tielemans. We've got a player linked with a move to Aston Villa, which is pretty exciting. We're going to chat about Garnacho. We are going to chat about Emi Martinez as well. So make sure you are smashing the likes. Let's try and hit the start of the week with 800. Let's start as we mean to go on this week. And subscribe to the channel if you are new and comment your thoughts on everything that I discuss in this episode. My untouchables are Morgan Rogers, Youri Tielemans, Ezri Konsa, Kamara Onana, and I'd probably put Maatsen, Pau, Martinez into that bracket, and Watkins. Anyone else, I'm pretty much okay, chatting about. But we got some here from Tielemans, and it's not great. It piles on. The misery. There's nothing positive coming out here, guys. Right. It depends how you read into it. I'll read into it how I read into it. And it might be different to the way that you guys read into it. But Tielemans has spoken. So we'll read his full quotes and we'll try and plow through it. So he's put, we're used to playing a lot of matches, recovering between games, so I didn't feel tired. It must be said that I spent 60 minutes on the bench, laughs, but now I'm ready to play and represent my country this Monday. He then went on to say, of course, I was able to score 5 goals and provide 10 assists this season, but I was also influential in my team's play. I've been consistent and I think I've improved throughout the season. And this is the quote, guys. There's nothing definitive or ruled out about whether I'll stay or leave. But I feel good at Aston Villa. I feel a lot of confidence from the club and the manager. These quotes on international duty are very, very annoying when players do stuff like this. But he said there's nothing definitive. So there's nothing definitive. So there's nothing decided or ruled out whether I'll stay or leave. But I feel good and the manager feels good about him. How are we reading into that? We could read into it like 2 ways here. The first one would be something that may have been mentioned from Monchi. And it's that the players will be aware of the situation of Villa having to move somebody on, and whether that's been spoken about within the group, and he's just reacting to that, sort of being a bit like there's nothing definitive about sort of like me or any of the players that could potentially leave. Now, if I read into it as that, then I actually feel all right about it, because that's just being honest and open. Maybe towards the end of the season, the financial position that Villa are in. Or do they not talk about that to the players? But if he's talking about himself personally, that he'll have a decision to make, whether he stays or goes, or if someone comes in and it's his decision, then to me, this is an absolute disaster, because Youri Tielemans, his season, he was class. And like, I know we could probably go along the lines of, yeah, but we were all saying this about sort of Douglas Luiz, and look at no one expected Tielemans to step up in, and that's fine. But I don't think you can keep doing that. I don't think you can keep expecting someone to leave and somebody to step up. And I just feel like your luck would run out like that. As much as they're all coached to a very high level, I just can't see always been the case, that you leave, you step up and you continue and you elevate the team. You know, it's not like Tielemans just did what Luiz did. Tielemans went above and beyond and played a lot better than Douglas Luiz. So yeah, it's not great, and I just don't like reading it. I don't like reading it, don't like seeing it, don't like saying it, don't like coming on here and saying it. But he said it, so maybe we have got to look at that. But again, at the same time, with all the rumours that are going on with Bailey, Martinez, like 1, 2 max out of those like core players. If it's Martinez that goes, then it can't be a Tielemans, a Watkins. It can't. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it can't be one of the core player. If multiple players are leaving, then if it's gonna have to be one big one, then it has to be loads of the other ones, like Cash and other players. Like, I can't have core key players, multiple core key players leaving this football club. Like, it can't happen. Right? It can't happen. And I just can't even envisage multiple very, very top players leaving Aston Villa. So that's the Tielemans chat. Let's move on to a player that's linked, because I'm actually quite excited by this one. And he's only 19, and it might not be a first teamer that's coming in, but we know that Villa have different transfer strategies. We have first team strategies, we have PSR strategies, we have nurturing young talent strategies, and I think this one is a very, very good prospect. And it's important that we have our toes in different areas, because we see clubs like Brighton signing a player. He plays 5 games, everybody waxes lyrical about him, and he's worth 100 million. Brentford, all these clubs that do that, we look at them and we go, oh, why can't we do it? But then when we sign some of them, it's like, why are we not signing first teamers? So I am of the view that this would be a very good signing. There's rumours that Enzo Barrenechea is going to be leaving, but then Monchi last week came out and said that Emery wants to have another look at him. So again, the rumour and then the mouthpiece from Villa saying that Emery wants to have a look at him, then Emery's having a look at him. Emery wants to have a look at him in pre-season. So this would be a really good, astute signing for me, because this kid has been absolutely tearing it up. He's been smashing it from where he's been playing in France. So his name's Valentin Atangana. So we've had a Ghana before. Now we've got Atangana. He's attracting from multiple clubs, and that will make it difficult for Eintracht Frankfurt to sign him. The 19-year-old Reims player is described as a super talent, and the list of clubs keen includes Aston Villa, West Ham, Lazio, and Fiorentina. Bild appear to believe the Bundesliga club have an advantage over the others because they're the only side involved in the Champions League. So they would have more pull than Aston Villa. Valentin Atangana is a defensive midfielder who has already played more than 50 matches for Reims and represented France at every youth level. They were relegated from League One, which means an exit seems likely and probably makes the price cheaper for Aston Villa and West Ham. So let's have a little look at him then. So he's a defensive midfielder, tough tackler, breaks up play, very aggressive, can press, can drive, and can move up the pitch very, very quickly. 19 years of age. And this market is something that we've really got to make sure that we are continuing to tap into, because not only could we sign him for a low fee, but we could also find not a hidden gem, because he's been doing really, really well. So he's been playing well, progressing well. He can grow as a player. 19 years of age. There's so much youthful years for him to grow into. But then if he does develop and grow well, or you sign him and send him on loan, or do something like what we know and increase the value, and he's worth 30 million, then those types of ways are how you're going to navigate PSR. So I think it's being open-minded to all these different situations. So we can see Sofa score. He is tackling and positioning his key strengths. 19 years of age. He is right-footed. He's got a Sofa score rating of 6.87, which is just slightly below my bracket. Again, 19-year-old playing in a poor team that got relegated. We can see that he played 34 games, started 33, scored 1 goal. And these are the stats that we really need to be looking at. 88% passing accuracy, 79% in his own half. We've got aerial duels won 58%, ground duels 53%, and total duels are at 55%. We can see that from his FB ref that he's got his aerials 1.48 per 90, clearances 2.02, interceptions 1.17, tackles 2.18. We've got progressive carries 1.29, progressive passes received 1.20, touches in the attacking penalty area 1.70. So his defensive work is where he does a lot of his strong work, and I think again, like it's a specialized position, and when you're in this position, it's important that you develop these positions. We know how much Boubacar Kamara is a big miss when he doesn't play. So having players that are very good in these positions is very important, in my opinion. But again, here you can see shots blocked 0.47. We've got, again, another one here. Percentage of dribblers tackled, 73.7%, which is very, very high. Challenges lost, 0.32. Tackles won, 1.58. So, again, tackles in the defensive third, again, very high, 1.01. So he's a player that I think would be a very astute signing for Aston Villa, and a player that has been doing very, very well. Now, Garnacho is still being heavily linked with Aston Villa. So, again, I did my episode. I'm a massive fan of this. A lot of the United sort of pages are still talking about Garnacho to Villa. Keep an eye on Aston Villa being interested in Garnacho. Manchester United still value Garnacho at 60 million. So again, I think he's a player that would add pace. He'd add a lot to our team. If you don't rate him, that's fine. You don't rate him. But I think personally, he would come in and do a very, very good job. 20 years of age, the ability to grow, the ability to be nurtured and coached with Unai Emery. Absolutely fantastic. Emi Martinez, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be really honest with you. I think he's going to Man United. I've thought about this all weekend, and I think he goes to Man United. It's just a feeling. I don't know nothing, but it's just a feeling. And I've got a vibe that he goes to Manchester United. And I feel like Garnacho may be involved in some sort of deal. Now, again, we've seen that these deals of PSR, and it makes no difference to the actual deal of the financial money coming in. So if we sign Garnacho for whatever, 40, that 40 then gets spread over the course of his contract. We sell Martinez, then that money just goes straight into Aston Villa's PSR. So I feel like he's going. I've just got a vibe that he goes to Man United. I've just got a funny feeling that he goes there. And I know Ben Jacobs said Atletico Madrid as well, but I think Man United. The only reason why I don't think he goes to Man United is the fact that how the window could evolve for them, I think. So if they're going after Mbeumo and they get him, could they go for Gyökeres, get him? And if somebody else pops up, like a right-sided wing-back that's available, or a midfielder, or they can't sell enough players, then maybe they don't go for him. But I think ideally they want Emi Martinez. And yeah, I've just got a feeling that he goes there. So if he does go there, then we have to go and get Chevalier. We have to go and get him. He has to be the goalkeeper for me that we go and get. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all develops. Probably not the greatest episode from me, but again, like if we've seen quotes from Tielemans, we can't just not mention it just because it's not good news or it's not the greatest of things to be talking about. We have to be wise to it, and we have to chat about some things that we probably don't really want to chat to. Weird from Villa admin yesterday, guys. Villa admin yesterday was very, very weird. If I can just show you Villa admin, and I'll show you what I mean by it. I've got a funny feeling we might be seeing some sort of Ollie Watkins announcement. Quite a good announcement. So they put out yesterday, sit back and watch all of Ollie's goals from last season. And then like a few hours later, they put another sort of video out about Ollie Watkins, our record breaker. I just found it a little bit weird that they've pushed him. Do you know what I mean? They're pushing him out there. Like, is there some sort of contract announcement that's going to be coming out or anything? I don't know. But what I did watch yesterday was the tennis and Alcaraz. And this was purely, when you watch sport, right, guys? You watch sport and you watch it and you're enjoying the sport. But there's more to sport than just what you're watching. And this is why I love sport. I love the mental aspect, especially of individual sport, because it's just you. It's just you out there. And this is why I really like tennis, because when you're watching a tennis player, yeah, it could be all plain sailing. And, Alcaraz is smashing someone or so Sinner. And sometimes it's good to watch the tennis, but it's quite boring. Yesterday's match, when Alcaraz, right, was even the first point of the game, right, the first point, Alcaraz was virtually going to break Sinner. He was having break point, and I thought, you know what, Alcaraz is gonna win this match, and Sinner's able to mentally hold on and keep his serve, and then Sinner starts to go 1-0 up, 2-0 up, and he's 2-0 up, and he's got 3 championship points. Sinner had 3 championship points. If you didn't watch it, go and watch the highlights. You'll thank me later, right? So he had 3 championship points, and he manages to break him. He then manages to win the game. He won. He was 2 sets down and 3 championship points down. And that mental strength to fight back 1 set at a time. And he absolutely smashed the tiebreak at the very end. I think he won it like 10-2. But it was so good to watch his mental strength and his resilience and his belief, his risk-taking, living on the edge. Sort of when you're out, you're so close to being out. And I just thought, do you know what? That's proper. That is. That's a proper mentality. And I think part of it, Villa need it. Villa needed that mental strength and resilience and just desire. Oh, I loved it. Absolutely. What a day that was yesterday watching that. Absolutely fantastic. So, got off on one talking about something else a bit random, but there we go. So, we're starting the week off with not great news, but I'd love to know how you're feeling about it. Comment your thoughts. Get involved in the channel. Up the Villa.